you could please read our ancestry acknowledgement.
With great humility and deep gratitude, we honor the strength, endurance, and sacrifice of our Black ancestors. We honor those enslaved African people whose forced labor was exploited for generations to help establish the economy of our region and the United States. We honor those Black ancestors who persevered despite the discriminatory laws and practices that created a racial caste system, legitimized anti-Black racism, and continue to plague our community today. It is only by recognition and understanding of these errors begun during our nation's origins and continuing today that we can hope to correct our path. We acknowledge this exploitation not only of minds and labor, but of our humanity. We grieve those Black ancestors who, despite their contributions to the city's wealth and freedom, were never recognized, fairly compensated, nor allowed to fully realize their own sovereignty. Because of their work, we are here and will invest in the descendants of that legacy. And through this process, we work to repair some of the harms caused by the city of Evanston. We also hope our focused attempts at reparations will serve as an example to the United States government and prompt other institutional accomplices to begin the process of repair.
Thank you. So we do have one item that is for action. We have a quorum, and this is number 3, Restorative Housing Program Amendments. And we all know that, thank you. We all know that we have selected our first 16. We have actually randomly ordered all of the ancestors that have applied. We have selected our first 16 and dispersed those that have identified how they want to use their benefit. We've had 2 that have not been able to use the benefit in the way that the program was initially written. And we have 2 residents that are recipients of the benefit that are not homeowners, do not plan to purchase a home, and do not have descendants to pass their benefit down to. And we have been in discussion on how do we satisfy these elders in our community. And after sufficient counsel from our corporation counsel and committee review, I want to make a motion that we extend a cash benefit of $25,000 to each of the 2 that are unable to otherwise use their benefit. Discussion?
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I certainly support that motion, but I think I think if we're amending the program, we should amend the program, and not just for the 2, but make a program amendment to allow for, whether it's just for the ancestors or whoever, or the whole program, to allow direct cash benefits for everyone, for the full group. I think just to make an amendment to the program for the 2 folks would miss the mark of creating an actual program that is sustainable for everyone who has a similar issue. I'd imagine that these 2 aren't the only 2 who have this issue amongst the seniors or amongst the ancestors. So I would recommend a friendly amendment to just allow direct cash benefits for at least all ancestors, if not everyone in the program.
No, with all due respect, I think that at this point we have been trying to determine how to address these 2 recipients, and that this really isn't a forum today for us to decide on the entire program. And I think we need to look at what the motion that has been seconded is on the floor.
Yeah, I appreciate the motion, and of course, I know that everyone on the committee wants to do right by everyone who's applied for reparations, and even those who have yet. But again, to amend a program just for 2 people when we can anticipate that there will be more than just those 2 who would benefit from direct cash payments and appreciate direct cash payments that offers, I think we would. I think it's the best mistake we could possibly make to make sure that these 2 folks get direct cash payments. But I think it would be a mistake to not amend the program overall and allow, again, whether it's everyone who applied, whether it's ancestors and descendants or just the ancestors, particularly the ancestors, I think we should make this amendment concrete and clear so everyone has this option.
So let me add something, because I think we have solved for exactly in further discussion with Corporation Counsel. It would come with a additional, I guess, would be amended language to those that have applied already, that this option is available in these instances. But we do have to develop more programs. As you know, we're all looking to get to what's next after this restorative housing benefit. We still need to get to economic development and educational initiatives. But do you think that solves for the challenge that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I just think that the motion, if that's going to be the action, the motion should reflect that action. So I think instead of the motion being to allow for direct cash benefits for the 2 recipients, that the motion should be to allow for direct cash payments for ancestors.
So I'm not clear on the, so we don't have legal here to fold that in properly. So I would be careful about how, I believe we're saying the same exact thing. Mr. Sutton, it looks like you might be ready to speak.
Yes, I have parliamentary concern. Who made the amendment? Because
I just made the motion.
okay, then you can either accept the amendment or deny it, and then you can table it for another discussion.
Well, let's.
Who made the amendment has the privilege to not accept an amendment to their motion.
Can we agree to do this right now? And because I definitely want to explore further Councilmember Reid's point, and I think that it's being solved for based on the conversation that we've had already with Corporation Counsel. Can we take a vote on the 2 that are in question? Because they have been awarded a year ago, I believe it's this month, if I'm not mistaken, and there is an expectation that they should know how they can access their benefit.
Well, we have to vote on the amendment first.
Yeah, that motion has more discussion, Councilmember Reid?
I've had some conversations with Corporation Counsel. We know that we have obviously, we're even for these 2, we know we have the legal opinions that say this is acceptable. I would ask, I just don't think this amendment is clear enough, so I would move. I'd move to amend the program to allow for direct cash payments for the ancestors.
There's one motion. You do the first motion, then we do the second.
Can I, as a committee member, I'm not opposed to the sentiment and the plan that you are putting forth. I would like to move on the specific motion on the floor, and then my feeling is before I would vote on what you're proposing, and the lawyer in me, I would like to see the language that we're adding to see if that satisfies it and we're all talking about the same thing. And without that, I would just, I would feel more comfortable seeing that language, before we talk about the future ones. Although in my conversations with council, I'm satisfied that with these two, I feel comfortable voting on that. With what you're proposing to add to, or a subsequent motion, I would like to have more information.
No, yeah, we can't. So, yes, we can't have, thank you, but thank you, Bennett. So, do you have any final discussion before we call the question on the first motion?
Mike, okay. There wasn't language in the packet on this motion, from my understanding there, and I think it's a very clear, what I'm proposing is very clear, that we would allow all of the ancestors to receive direct cash payments if they so choose. I understand certainly I've known a lot of lawyers and men, so I understand the lawyerly concerns, but I think we've discussed this for some time. We know that people have been calling for direct cash payments, particularly for the ancestor group. I think it would be a mistake and potentially, leave a worse sentiment in the community if we were only to make this amendment specifically for two folks, knowing surely well that there are more folks, certainly out of the ancestor group of 120 some odd people, that will be in a similar situation. So let's just fix this, and let's fix it now.
So I'm gonna add to that certainly if there are forthcoming circumstances as these two, all of these questions we had with Corporation Counsel, then there will be language to be determined, and I think that's where we would love to see the language that is going to be amended to understand exactly, is it a fourth option? Is it in the event you can't satisfy homeownership eligibility or so on? And so we're there, we are there, Councilmember Reid. I think that it would make more sense to move forward so that we can satisfy the two that are in question, and then learn more about how that cash benefit will be available to others. Will it be a fourth option? If you do satisfy all the requirements, but you just want cash, is that it? Is it just as a default if you are eligible for the other ways to have the benefit? I think for us to amend it without a discussion from our Corporation Counsel and his staff right now is, I would be okay waiting until our next meeting. I would even be okay with coming in for a special meeting for this, because I know that it's been a very important conversation. But today, I would love to be able to give a response to two ancestors who have not been able to take advantage of their benefit and receive the repair intended from this initiative. Committee Member Sutton?
Yes, even though the amendment might fail for lack of second, I think it's important that we go on and vote on it, because once we establish a precedent that there are options, then we can go back and, but let's just vote on the amendment as presented, without an addition to it.
I'm going to call the question right now. So I have made a motion that we extend a cash benefit to the two that are in question. We have a second from Committee Member Lockhart. Can we take a vote on that? Do I need a roll call vote?
No.
All in favor?
Call a roll.
Aye.
They're making a motion for you to call the roll.
Okay, we'll take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Reid.
No.
Councilmember Harris.
I abstain, their family members.
Committee Member Sutton.
Yes.
Committee Member Barber. Committee Member Lockhart. Committee Member Simmons.
Yes. Okay, that motion passes. So we will Those two recipients, you know who you are. Please contact city staff directly. Tashik will be your initial point of contact for whatever is the next step. So I'm very happy to be able to move forward with that. Yes.
I seek recognition. I would like to move that we amend the program overall to allow for direct cash benefits for all ancestors. There's a question for clarification. I move that we amend the housing program to allow direct cash benefits for all ancestors.
There's a second?
I don't plan to second it because I think we've solved for it in the conversations we've had already with Corporation Counsel. I'm okay waiting for him to be here and us to get an explanation on how we are amending the program.
Point of information for staff. So does this move forward to council for approval?
No.
Since we're amending the program,
I spoke with Corporation Counsel and he said that this is a committee decision to extend $25,000 cash to them. I specifically asked that. An amendment to the program.
yeah, I'm clarifying with David and send out an email.
Okay. Well, then I would move that we come back as soon as possible, whether it's next week or the week after, because I think we have clear understanding. We should have clear understanding on this, and I would like us to get the program right as soon as possible to make sure that all ancestors have this opportunity and don't feel aren't left with a sour taste in their mouth because we're amending the program for two folks and not for everyone. So
I think everyone agrees with you,